Look at that water bottle. It has a picture of a mountain on it and a little snowflake, and it says pure in a fancy font. But guess what? In a lot of cities, that water took a really weird trip to get to you. It went through pipes, it came out of a building you also use every day. Welcome to The Water Files, Episode 1. Where does your water actually come from? Here's something important first. Most bottled water is not dirty water from a toilet. Most of it comes from the ground or from a spring, or it's just regular city water that got cleaned up and put in a fancy bottle. But something really cool and kind of weird is happening in some places. It's called direct potable reuse. That's a big fancy way of saying water that went down the drain gets cleaned up so well, it becomes drinking water again. In places like Texas, Namibia, California, and Singapore, the water that goes down your drain gets cleaned, then cleaned again, then cleaned so many times that it ends up cleaner than water from a river or a lake. This isn't an accident. Smart people planned this on purpose. And in some places, they have to do it because there isn't enough water any other way. So your fancy mountain water probably didn't come from a toilet. But somewhere in the world right now, someone is drinking water that did, on purpose. And it's totally safe. Kind of wild, right? Okay, so how do you turn yucky water into safe water? Here's the secret. They use a bunch of steps, one after another, like an obstacle course for water. Each step catches the stuff the last step missed. First step, reverse osmosis. That's a fancy name for pushing the water through a super, super tiny filter. So tiny that almost nothing can squeeze through it, except the water itself. Then, they use a special light, and sometimes a special gas, to zap and destroy any tiny germs that are still hiding in there. By the end, the water isn't just clean. A lot of the time, it's even more tested and checked than water straight from a mountain spring. Because nobody's checking the mountain's water with science labs, but they are checking this water. And here's the part that's kind of funny. This same cleaning system is a lot like the one that cleans your regular tap water at home too, which means that fancy bottled water and the water from your kitchen sink might actually be really, really similar. The mountain picture on the bottle isn't really lying, it's just trying really hard to make plain water look extra special. So here's the big question. If cleaned up water can be this safe, this clean, and this tested, would you drink it? You probably already have, without even knowing it. So the real question isn't about the water anymore. It's, why are you paying $3 whole for it? That's what we're talking about next time. Because it turns out the water was never really the special part. This has been The Water Files. I'm still a little sarcastic, and nature and your pipes are still weirder than any story you could make up.